Welcome, everybody. After the lunch, I hope you can hear me. We're grateful that we can organize a dairy symposium at the conference. And the first speaker is my co-chair, Jordi Salas, Salvado. I hope I pronounced it properly. Everybody knows him. And he's known for the Credit Plus study, and he worked as a professor in nutrition at Reus in Spain. And he has a short introduction of the topic.
It's a pleasure to be here and to do this introduction in relation to dairy products and the panel, in order to be a little provocative also. As you know, dairy products are nutrient-dense food, so this I think that all of you agree. In the last years, they have been very criticized by both people in general, but also health professionals in some cases, because they have several concerns. For example, are rich in natural trans fatty acids, rich in saturated fatty acids, rich in salt, in some cases, for example, cheese, rich in sugar. Some yogurts, for example, 80% of the yogurts in the developed countries have sugar. And also there are a lot of irrational beliefs that lead to decreased consumption. For example, I have heard, I suppose that also you, humans are the unique animals to consume dairy products through life. So humans also are the unique animal that they drive and other things. In the last decades, some guidelines recommend to consume low-fat dairy products and to limit them. And we are living in a hypocritical society because the fat that is removed from dairy products is incorporated in other processed products by the industry, and we eat it again. So this led to a decrease in the consumption of milk, for example, in the United States and Europe, an increase of some other dairy products, for example, cheese, but a parallel increase in alternatives, dairy alternatives that we have now in the market. In recent years, there were some investigators that they say perhaps dairy products are beneficial for health. And this is one of the papers that have been appeared in 2014 that has been led by Arnastro, that say that the consumption of yogurt and other dairy products in observational studies were associated to a reduced risk of weight gain, obesity, and also cardiovascular disease. Now where we are. So we have a lot of epidemiological studies that we have evidence coming from here on the beneficial effects of dairy products. That is, this information on this evidence is mixed and inconsistent in relation to cardiovascular disease risk factors and also diabetes or cardiovascular disease. The consumption of some fermented dairy products, yogurt and cheese, for example, especially yogurt, have demonstrated beneficial associations or effects on diabetes and cardiovascular disease. We do not, I think that we do not have enough evidence to recommend or not to recommend dairy products low in fat, but the discussion is open. In observational studies, what is observed is especially for yogurt a protection from diabetes. We are talking about diabetes, and here you have one of systematic review of meta-analysis, and you can see that they have observed that an inverse association between yogurt consumption and diabetes. And now, this year, the FDA has endorsed a health claim in relation to yogurt and diabetes. I don't know, so we have to discuss if you agree with this or not. The information that they have evaluated in order to have this health claim is coming from 46 observational studies, and at the end they have choose 28 in relation to the incidence of diabetes, in relation to changes in yogurt consumption and incidence of diabetes, or surrogate endpoints related to diabetes, such as glucose, glycated hemoglobin, etc. And here you have the most important studies. Especially, they have classified into types of studies of high methodological quality studies, 9 studies, and with moderate methodological quality studies, 19. And especially, the recommendation of the FDA endorsement has been approved because of observational studies from Harvard and 3 studies that have been conducted in Predimed. Here you have the observational study with the Harvard cohorts, 17% lower risk of diabetes incidence in those individuals consuming 3 or more servings of yogurt per week. But this observation was observed, but has been only for observed by for women, but not for men. Here, a study that has been conducted in our study that we have demonstrated that independently of the fat content of higher consumption of yogurt has associated with lower risk of diabetes. Also, we have one of the selected observational studies is another study in Predimed that we have observed that the substitution, using substitution analysis of 1 serving of yogurt and low-fat milk for other servings or other alternative products or snacks, we have observed a protection. This is another study that has been chosen as a high quality that was from a group of research also in relation to an intermediate outcome, that's metabolic syndrome. Also, we have observed in Predimed this inverse association between yogurt consumption and risk of in the incidence of metabolic syndrome. And you can see here the different components of the metabolic syndrome. And this is another one that they have chosen that is led by Marta Wask. And that he has analyzed that the association between increasing the consumption of 1 serving of these food sources rich in saturated fatty acids, and we can see we have observed protection in case of yogurt, but not for others. So what are the mechanisms? I think that I cannot have time to explain this because perhaps the panel can discuss this. One of the potential mechanisms could be inducing satiety and reducing adiposity by different mechanisms. You can have here some potential mechanisms. We have several observational studies that have been related the consumption of yogurt using repeated measurements. For example, this study that has been conducted by Dr. Musafarian and the risk of weight gain. And as you can see, especially has been observed beneficial effects in case of yogurt, fruits, and nuts. Another potential mechanism is directly increasing insulin sensitivity and decreasing pancreatic secretion by different mechanisms, perhaps because of the probiotic properties or the ability to change gut microbiota, etc. But at the end, we have this health claim. Eating yogurt regularly may reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes according to limited scientific evidence, based only on prospective studies. First, because no clinical trial has been accepted because of low quality or because the comparator. Also, some people said in the panel that perhaps it's because of residual confounding, this association. And also, some people said in the panel that if we have this health claim, it will encourage consumers to increase the consumption of yogurt, including those that are rich in added sugar. So we are here. And I don't know if you agree with this health claim or not, and I think that we can discuss this. So we have epidemiological evidence on the beneficial effects of dairy products on mixed, that this evidence is mixed and inconsistent in relation to this cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Frequent yogurt consumption was consistently associated with lower risk of diabetes in epidemiological studies. Changes in yogurt consumption has been associated to a lower risk of diabetes. Also, we have some substitution analysis that are in the same direction. And we have potential mechanisms explaining this. The FDA has endorsed this health claim in diabetes prevention. We need more large clinical trials in order to have the evidence, and we need to discover omics, biomarkers of dairy consumption in order to strengthen the evidence on this. And here we have the panel for a lot of speakers that they know what this issue in relation to the importance of dairy products on diabetes. So, and now it's time for the speakers. The first speaker is Sabita Soedamah from Netherlands. Thank you very much for coming. And she will talk about dairy consumption in relation to pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, original cohort analysis, and meta-analysis of latest evidence. And I suppose that all the speakers will talk about the fat content, I suppose, and the potential beneficial effects.